Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Alantech. Today we're going to be finding out the differences between a hard disk drive, a hybrid hard disk drive, and the newer solid state. Alright, so hard disk drives, pretty well-known media nowadays, seen in most computers. That would be something like this Western Digital I have right here. Let me put it up the right way so you can see it. This is a 500 gig hard disk drive. Now what does hard disk drive mean? That's probably the question. Hard disk drive, and I have a CD here so you can kind of see, I could take the platters out of another hard drive, which is the inside of it. But that would be kind of hard to see on the video, and my camera equipment's not that good, unfortunately. But essentially there's a disc inside, somewhat like this, looks somewhat like this, except it's like this on both sides, and then there's like a little arm. We can pretend this pin is the arm, and every time you write something to it, this arm slides and puts a little 1 or 0 on the platter in a specific place based on where the computer wants it. And that's how it saves information. And then later on it comes back whenever you need it and it reads that 0 or 1. Now this arm will move at lightning speeds. Actually maybe even faster, because sometimes the movement of these drives, depending on the speed, isn't even detectable by the human eye. They're that fast. So, well, you must be saying, well, that's pretty quick. Why would we need anything else? Well, we have something now called solid state drives, and what they do is they have no moving parts, so the data can be gotten pretty much instantly, because it's just an electronic signal. Now, I don't have an SSD drive that I can take apart because they're rather expensive, and I just can't take one apart and play with it like I really want to. But we have a RAM chip here, which in some ways is similar. And if you can imagine just a plate of a bunch of those little chips right there, obviously they're different. They look a little bit different, but there's like a bunch of those put together to make up the storage capacity. They are expensive. They are expensive comparatively to the hard disk drives, which are much cheaper to manufacture. They are coming down, and they are getting to where they are actually affordable now for the average consumer if you want them. And the speed differences can be quite a lot because they don't have those moving parts. Plus, some features in Windows and Mac nowadays, you can actually extend the life of an SSD, because if you went to the same card each time, which is what it would do normally, you would burn out that card and then thereby destroying the drive, but they have a way to spread it across the drives now. But SSDs are still very expensive, and you can't get them in near the capacity that you can a hard disk drive. Like this 500 gig, it's probably going to cost you around $150 for a good one, not one of the little cheapy ones that they just threw together. But whereas a 500 gig in this, I mean, especially these 3.5s, which you're getting cheaper all the time, you're looking at around, I would say, the last one I bought was probably about $40, and it was a refurbished one. But I wanted the high cache and the high rate. So, well, so SSDs are expensive and hard disk drives are kind of slow but more affordable. Well, enter the hybrid hard disk drive. As the name suggests, there is two different materials in there. There is the hard disk drive, which carries the bulk of the space where you store most of your stuff, and then there is a much faster little piece of it for the solid state drive. And what that does is that most computers now can recognize that it's a hybrid drive, excuse me, and they will put your most used files on that solid state part of the drive. So like your startup files, your Firefox that you always load up, or maybe some small games, they will put on there because they know that you use them so often, and it'll just load up as fast as a, well, I won't say as fast as an SSD because you do have some loss because of the hard disk drive, but it's kind of like the happy medium. You get a little bit more performance, and you also get the size that you want from the hard disk drive. Now, what's the drawback? Usually on the hybrid drives, the size is very small for the SSD portion. Usually only 8 or 16 gigs. So you're not going to have a whole lot other than what you mostly use the most. So, I mean, yeah, your startup files, and like if you use your Internet Explorer or your Edge now a whole lot, then that's going to be on there. But then there's not going to be a whole lot of room for much else unless it knows that you're going to be using it. So then you have to go to the hard disk drive, and for some reason, a lot of the cheaper hybrid drives I found use the slower method of 5400 and lower cache levels, which is kind of not fun, but is what it is. Make sure to do your research on your drives before you're buying them. That would be a good thing to do. So I guess in closing, the hard disk drive has all moving parts, has disks that move, it has arms that move, so it's more prone to failure after a while. The SSD is the faster of the three, as it's instant as instant can be, with accessing files on the chips that it has inside it. And then the hybrid hard drive is somewhere in the middle. Once again, I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to also thank people who have been sending me tips and everything that I've been asking for. I really do appreciate it. There's some of the things that I just can't do yet, and I really want to, but money is a big thing in my stuff right now. Like, I am trying the background thing. Got my computer in the background, my Doctor Who poster up there. Looks a little bit better than the crappy curtain over here. But yeah, I'm trying. I know the sound is bad. I'm sorry about that. I don't have a proper microphone, and for some reason that got really blurry all of a sudden. Don't know why. But I am trying to get stuff as I go. Like I said, I spent a lot on this camera. Actually, my wife helped me buy the camera because we're actually using it more for our new born child. But it does pretty good for this. So thank you. I really do appreciate the comments. I'm sorry I can't get to them as fast as I would like. Some stuff, it's kind of starting to look up now, and I'm really glad about that. I'm hoping that I can actually start making a little bit off this and maybe doing a little bit better. But at the same time, I'm still just having fun. This is what I like to talk about, what I like to do. So thank you all that watch this, and thank you so much for any hints and tricks that you give me. I really do appreciate them. I do read them. I try to respond if it's necessary or if I can. So thank you once again so much for watching this episode, and I will see y'all next time.